What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today it's a special day for Rangers fans. This is another Rangers pod, and the final Rangers pod. I'm going to have to talk about the Carolina against the New York Rangers series. Wow, wow, and wow. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't saying I'm shocked that we won Game 6. Down 3-1, and they come back to win it, baby. I love this freaking team. No quit in New York. How about that? And how about a start to the episode, man? Chris freaking Kreider. Unreal. He's unbelievable. Christopher James Kreider is unbelievable. And he probably had to go to the hospital today because of how much his back hurt from putting the team on his back and beating the Carolina Hurricanes alone, basically. He scored 3 goals in the third period. The last person to do that, Mark Messier, and I'm pretty sure Wayne Gretzky as well. He joined an elite list today in that game. And it's amazing. The Rangers got this series done. And when it got to game 6 and they were down 2-0 when, who is it? I forgot who it was, but Seth Jarvis scored, Sebastian Aho scored, and I don't know who else scored. Marty Necas scored. That's who started the game off. Marty Necas with the goal right in front. 0 defenders on him. Igor had no chance. Igor's hugging his post, and then all of a sudden he looks up and the puck is in the back of his net. Rangers down 2-0 early. Gets to a point where it's 3-1, and the Rangers were kind of just running around because Carolina was just a bunch of wolves. I will not lie. I was watching the game with one of my buddies, and I was telling him all the time, this Carolina team, they're all over us. Every time we touch the puck, there's 2 guys on us. They were forechecking hard. It was hard for the Rangers to even get any offensive zone pressure, and Freddie Anderson didn't really have much worry, really. He didn't have to be tested very much. The big chance that there was the Ryan Lindgren partial breakaway where he put it through the 5-hole, goes through Frederik Andersen, then all of a sudden Jordan Martinook comes out of nowhere, and he probably made the save of the year and probably the save of the game, but overall they couldn't get it done, the Carolina Hurricanes, but that save was unreal. And I don't know what it is, but when I see stuff like that, like a save like that, or the Rangers missing a wide open net, or hitting the post in a crucial part of the game, I just feel like the game just changes, and it's like, I wouldn't say it's over, but I don't like my chances of winning that game, and I kind of got that feeling, and the Rangers stuck to their word, though, with the no quit in New York. They come back, Vinny Trocheck with an amazing deflection off a Panarin shot, and I gotta say, Artemi Panarin, I don't know if he listened to this podcast, probably not, but he probably heard the banter that he was getting from New York fans, that he needs to step up and take over. And he did. He did take over this game. He was skating way better than previous games. And he had a few points to his name, too. He had the point to the Kreider tipping, which was gross, and the Vinny Trocheck goal. Barclay Goodrow, that guy's a playoff animal. Regular season, he only had 12 points. He's already got 5 in the postseason, so a really solid job there from Barclay Goodrow. I think he's looked really good, and that's why they brought him in to begin with. That's why they traded for him for just a 7th-round pick or whatever it was from the Tampa Bay Lightning. No Matt Rempe in this game. Johnny Brzezinski, I thought he played like Johnny Brzezinski. No, not like a shot at Johnny B, but just Johnny B played a Johnny B type game. I mean, gets on the forecheck, does the little things right. Igor Shesterkin, despite the goals that he allowed, absolutely unreal. Those final minutes of the game, that save on the save on Svechnikov, it pops right out to Svechnikov. Coolly misplays it, and Igor Shesterkin has to stand on his head again and makes an unreal save. Blocker save away, and that was probably the save of the game for the Rangers side. Martinook gets the save of the game for me because Frederik Andersen couldn't make saves for them. And I think that's something that Carolina needs to address, where they ride Peter Kochekov next year and not really ride Freddie Anderson. I don't know if they're going to make a big-time goalie trade. It looks like the Predators are staying on with Soros. It doesn't look like Omark is going to go anywhere, even though I know a lot of teams would be interested in a guy like Linus Omark, who isn't getting much playtime for Boston. And we'll get into Boston and Florida a little later in this podcast. But the goals that the Rangers scored was crucial. A power play goal, of course, from the penalty from Jordan Staal that a lot of Carolina players didn't like. Definitely Rod Brind'Amour didn't like. And like I said, the Rangers do rely on the power play, but just don't take penalties then. Don't take penalties, and Jordan Staal does that. Cross-checks Mika Zibanejad in the back. Zibanejad eats the boards, and Kreider is one of the best deflections I've ever seen him do. He's had a lot of deflection goals, but I don't understand how one puck is going like that, and he hits it perfectly into the other side corner. Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely unreal, Chris Kreider. And Kreider struggled the last few games, and he was a guy that needed to step up, and he definitely did that. Chris Kreider stepped up in this game. The Stars stepped up big time in this game. Like I said, Artemi Panarin stepped up. And we said in the previous video, he needs to step up, and he needs to be better. And he was. Artemi Panarin was great. I thought his line looked a lot better. I thought Trocheck looked pretty good. That tipping goal was really nice. And another thing that I do still question is why Jacob Trouba and Keandre Miller are a defensive pair. Because countless times, Miller's stepping up or Trouba's going all the way to try and take someone's head off. And it's a 2-on-1 the other way. And if you don't have Igor Shesterkin in that, geez, we might be awaiting a Game 7 at the Garden. I'm not going to lie. The Shesterkin is unfreaking real. And it's every press post game when they give the Broadway hat to somebody. Chesty, you're unreal, but I gotta give it to Chris Kreider. Or Chesty, you're unreal, I gotta give it to Mika Magic, baby. Or, anything, the Bread Man. Oh, Chesty, unreal. But we're gonna have to give it to somebody else. Every game, Shesterkin is mentioned. The guy is unreal, and he wants it all. Shesterkin wants it, man. And I'm super proud of Peter Laviolette to get these guys going in the third because they were drawn dead. They really were. I didn't think the energy was there. And then all of a sudden, just a few shifts after a few shifts, things start to get rolling. Really good shifts, close calls. And then Zibanejad puts one in front. Chris Kreider banks it in. Bang. That should be a whistle. Just Frederik Andersen should have that puck covered 99.99% of the time. And that 1% was not covered. And Kreider gets it in. The garbage goals will win you playoff games. The garbage goals, the tip-in goals, all those. Rangers were on the other side of that in a few games. Jake Gensel tip-ins. Anybody tip-ins. I think one of the big crucial points in this game, though, was Martinook hitting the crossbar. Because if he scores that, that's a whole different element. And I think that's something that Carolina looks at. When they hit the crossbar multiple times, Jack Drury off the post. Both teams were hitting the post. Rangers got the benefit of the doubt that in the most important game, the Canes were the ones that were hitting the post and not being able to score. But let's get into Florida-Boston, man. And I'm not kidding. I might say sound delusional, and I know I did in my Stanley Cup bracket have Florida winning. But if Boston wins, I feel like that's a win for New York. Because I feel like Florida's the deeper team. I do think Florida does have a very good goalie in net with Sergei Bobrovsky. But I think Jeremy Swayman has been arguably the best goalie in the playoffs, aside from probably Shesterkin, to be honest. It's probably them two. But another trend that I've been seeing is in basketball. Now, we don't cover basketball, and I never will on this channel, but the New York Knicks, if they win tonight, they take on the Boston Celtics. If the Boston Bruins win 2 games, they take on the New York Rangers. So imagine that for a storyline. Basketball, Boston versus New York. Hockey, New York versus Boston. I don't know. I think that'd be a crazy storyline. But if I had to take a team that I'd rather play, it would probably be the Boston Bruins. I think Florida is the deeper team, and I think they are road warriors. So, I mean, Madison Square Garden is a tough place to play in, but Florida, they don't care. They're trying to go into TD Garden right now and play the Rangers after. They're trying to win that game tonight. Boston's trying to head back to Sunrise, Florida. I think Marchand's going to play. I really do. I think Brad Marchand is going to play in this game, and I feel like he kind of has to. I think he's got to push his body another way and play this game. If you're the captain, I feel like you got to step in and play this game, and I think that brings another element to the Boston Bruins. As much as Brad Marchand is, I guess you could say, a dirty, nasty player, a lot of teams would love to have a Brad Marchand. And with Sam Bennett and Tkachuk healthy for the Florida Panthers, and there's no Brad Marchand, who is there really to go after Bennett or Brady Tkachuk? Is it Trent Frederick? Pat Maroon hasn't done anything. He said in his press conference, I've tried to fight people, I've tried to do this. But here's the difference, Pat. Nobody's going to fight you because they don't want to be in the box. They don't want their star players fighting you and being in the box for 5 minutes. They don't want that. Of course nobody's going to fight you. There's no Ryan Reeves on that team. There's no Matt Rempe. And Matt Rempe's been told not to fight. Matt Rempe wanted to fight Tom Wilson, but he didn't because Coach Laviolette said, hell no. Hell no. Don't get into Tom Wilson's troubles. Don't do that. And he didn't. Pat Maroon's looking for a fight because that's his job. I mean, that's how he's won three Stanley Cups. But I'm excited. I'm so happy that this Rangers team got it done. And this team still has a lot of work to do. 8 wins. They got to win the Eastern Conference Finals. And I do believe Dallas is going to come out. Out of those 4 remaining teams in the West, I think Dallas is going to be the team that's going to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. They do play Colorado. No more Nichushkin for the Colorado Avalanche. He got suspended 6 months for failing a drug test. I feel like the West is still wide open. You never know with Connor McDavid. Calvin Pickard's their goalie, though. Like, I feel like there's a lot more weaknesses I see on the West than the East. In my opinion, at least. I feel like, Florida's a deep team. The Rangers are a deep team. Boston's got talent. They got goaltending. The West, I feel like goaltending is a question. I feel like goaltending is a question with the Colorado Avalanche. I feel like goaltending is a question with the Oilers. I feel like goaltending is a question with the Canucks, too. I mean, that's their third string goalie. That's not no Thatcher Demko. And then Jake Ottinger is kind of the only hope there. And I think Dallas is the deepest team of those 3, or of those 4, really. But Chris Kreider, man. A natural hat trick. Something I didn't see coming. I was nervous. I had to throw my hood up for some sort of random ritual. I was like, I'm not touching my phone for the rest of the game. I told my buddy, I'm not touching my phone. Hood's going up. And it was funny because this one Ranger fan that was there, he ended up leaving. He ended up leaving the place. He's like, well, he was drunk and everything. And he was like, I hope they can get it done, man. Like, he was drunk out of his mind. And all of a sudden, they start scoring. They start playing better once he leaves. Now, obviously, I hope he got home okay, and I hope he did experience that great win, because that was an amazing win for the New York Rangers. And they got it done. And I think that's the biggest thing that I take away from this game is that they won the game. There's no game 7, and now they get to rest their bodies a little bit. Right? They're probably a little banged up. Kreider's probably a little still banged up. There was some speculation that he may have not even was going to be a good to go. But Kreider's an animal. He's not going to skip a playoff game. And that's what you need. You need players like that. I thought Fox looked better. I thought a lot of players played better. The Trouba-Miller pair is still a scare. I really hope they go back to normal with Trouba and Gustafson and Schneider and Miller. But, hey, man, we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm excited. I am so pumped, and I'm so happy that all of you Ranger fans got to experience that. Leave a comment below where you were watching this game. Leave a comment. Leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 110 subscribers. We're one away. Let's get to 200 soon. And of course, this is me. I'm signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go Rangers, baby.